back, baby. You know, Ace Boogie here, Radioactive Podcast. And I got special guests here with me today. Y'all please introduce yourselves.
I am Reality. I am the CEO of Empire World Records.
I am Daria. I am one of the recent artists on Empire World Records, and I am working on music as we speak, and I'm really excited about it.
That's what I'm talking about. So, Empire, tell me about that.
Empire World Records. Empire World Records is a symbolism of black people coming together to build an empire. That's why I named it that, because I'm building it from the ground. I'm making everything stable. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, building a foundation, and it's growing.
Now I know that's not easy. What are some of the challenging things when building a record label?
The most challenging thing is just doing it by yourself. You're doing everything. You're learning everything. You're trying not to make mistakes. Running the scammers. That's the most frustrating thing. You know, it's a thing of when you're actually trying to do it and you're trying to do it legit. You're trying to trust people. You're trying to fund your money. You're trying to do all these things you need to do. But when people try to hold you down, it's frustrating. It makes you want to quit. That's the most hardest thing. Like just getting out there and keep going, knowing there's barriers in your way. You just got to ignore all that. You got to keep going.
How old is the record label?
6 years.
6 years. So you've been putting in that work for a while, huh?
Yeah. I'd say I've been rapping since 2003.
You're not originally from San Antonio, correct?
No.
Where are you from?
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
South Cat. Stand up.
So, what do you think about San Antonio? Because a lot of people, and this goes for both of y'all, especially as an artist. What is y'all thoughts on when it comes to support in San Antonio?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm originally from LA, so it's like a completely different vibe, just all across the board.
How?
Culturally, more specifically, but it's beautiful. I love how it's a little bit of everything. You get the big city vibe from it. You also get the small town vibe from it. And as far as support, again, music is still something that I'm branching out to as of recently in San Antonio. So I'm still, looking for it. But there are definitely areas where I see bars or see artists definitely flourishing in San Antonio as well. And I love how it's super close to Austin and Houston and different areas that have more of a more people to kind of become a fan, I guess, in enough words. But it's been really good. I love it so far.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I can go back.
Now, what is it that you do exactly?
For music, I sing R&B pop style. So it's more like I really like the sultry sound of R&B, especially old school, like 90s, 2000s. But I'm also like really into the pop style, like as of recently, like, the new school stuff. So I'm still trying to find it. But again, I want to add my own element on it too, because I'm definitely not your traditional artist. I'm a little bit more alternative, a little bit more quirky. And so I definitely want to be able to put my own inspiration on that genre of music.
If you could compare yourself to anybody that's in the industry, who would you compare yourself to?
I'm gonna be real honest. I don't think there is anybody. That's why I'm so adamant about being the first one. It's something that I think the industry just kind of lacks, that person, that like energy, or that just weird quirkiness that's not sexy or not like overly just overly kind of out there, or I don't know. I'm different. So I think the industry could really use something refreshing. For sure.
So I gotta ask you this.
Yeah.
When it comes to choosing, a manager, choosing a label, choosing all these things, you have to be careful with your choices.
Oh yeah.
What made you choose to go with him?
I'm gonna be honest. He actually found me.
Really?
Yes.
Now tell me that story.
Okay. Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. So I had started making music with someone I found who had a home studio, and I've been writing since I was 12, 13 years old. So I have a lot of material, but I started singing independently. and I posted a song on my YouTube channel called Reset, and it was one that Reality found, and he reached out to me through Facebook and was like, hey, I love your voice. I would really like to work with you on this song that I have. And so we kind of started talking about this one song, and the manager kind of relationship just began from there, and now we're actually going at it full force, and I'm really excited to see what happens next.
Guyland, we can hear that, Guyland.
He's jamming in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, why LA to Texas?
My mom's in the military.
Okay.
So Air Force. Yeah. So that was originally like the big move in 2015. And then I ended up going to school out here. And I don't see myself going back because it is so expensive. I know logically it makes sense to, build your music career in a city like LA, but I think it's possible to really start anywhere. The starting is the most important part. So,
question.
Yeah.
Diana says, who are some San Antonio artists that y'all are listening to right now?
That's a good question. It's mostly like friends of mine in the music industry right now. Like there's I believe it. I forget what he goes by on Instagram, but his name is Charles, and he's originally from San Antonio. He plays guitar. We were in a band like a few years ago. I sing backup, and just the music that he makes is amazing, and that's kind of like, I don't know. We kind of have each other's back in the music industry. I don't know. Like it's definitely nice to have someone you can kind of reach out to and ask questions, or definitely like introduce you to new spots or things like that. So yeah.
So what's the process of finding your own sound?
Definitely listening to a lot of artists that I like, just artists that I enjoy, or artists that I am inspired to write by, and that kind of just comes out. As far as like finding my own sound, I believe that my voice is just unique in and of itself. So I think being able to find like the music that complements my voice well and complements my range well would just be icing on the cake, pretty much.
I want to ask you, if there's artists out here who want to join your record label, what is it that you can do for them? What are you going to do for her?
Well, what I am doing for her, I'm actually getting her booked for shows. She's actually booked for a large event on May 31st that we're actually going to have a celebrity guest host. For the show. I'm not going to put out the name, but y'all will see a celebrity host the show on May 31st. And I am right now funding her recording right now, getting her music out there, promoting it, shopping it to different people on Instagram, whoever, huge following and stuff. Because when it comes to Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that, people that got a huge following, if they post your music, it's likely you're going to blow up from there. So just doing things like that for her. My services is on empireworldrecords.com. If you want to be part of the label, check it out.
Okay. I got to ask y'all, because I always, wonder this when it comes to these artists. I've seen doing it for years, especially here in San Antonio. What is the end goal age to stop? Like, you know what I mean? Because I be wondering, sometimes some of these artists I see, and I'm like, yo, you've been doing this for years. You're too old. Cut it out. So is there an end goal age to, if it doesn't happen?
I mean, everybody has their own expiration date. I say go by that, man. If you 70 but you still look like you're 35, then hey, do what you got to do. You know, do your passion, live by whatever your standards are, not the standards of others, because, at the end of the day, nobody else matters.
Right.
Making yourself happy is what matters, because if you look for others to make you happy, you're going to fail. You're gonna probably go into depression, to be honest. So that there is no end stage. Me personally, I don't go by that.
What about you?
I mean, there are so many talented people in the industry, but whether it be music, modeling, acting, who didn't get their start until later on in life. So I think as long as you have that drive and that passion and some resources to help you get started, I don't really think that there is an age where or there's a limit to where you should stop or give up. I don't believe in that. If I did, I wouldn't be here.
Definitely.
Deidre asks, what were y'all's thoughts on the Grammys?
I don't watch the Grammys.
Why don't you watch them?
I don't watch it because I don't think it's authentic. I don't think it's real. Everything is politics. Everything is what you know. It's less about the talent, you know, in these day and age. So I really don't pay that stuff attention. What matters is how you affect the people that listen to your music.
When you speaking of politics, there's a lot of politics even in the local game. You know what I mean? Are you ready for that?
Oh, I'm very ready for everything that comes with this. Nothing is going to get in my way.
All right. Determination. I like that. What did you think about the Grammys?
Oh, that's a great question because I didn't watch it either. I'm busy. I don't have time to watch TV.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that the Grammys does it actually even make an impact on the industry? Does it even matter per se?
I don't think it does. I mean, in the sense of notoriety, yes, or getting an award or feeling some sort of accomplishment, sure. But as far as getting your music to different people, I don't think there's an award that anyone can earn that can make you feel that kind of love and support that you would get from, you know, having a brand new fan base or introducing your music to just a brand new group of people that never heard of you before.
You're right.
And I don't think any like tangible award or amount of money can really justify that, you know, that feeling.
What would be that for you? You know what I'm saying? As an artist, what do you think? Yeah, what would be that for you to make you feel that way? Would it be a plaque? What would it be? Would it be just a wave of people singing your song?
Yeah, I think being on a stage where people are singing the songs that I wrote back to me would definitely be probably the most incredible feeling. Again, I've never felt it because I haven't gotten that far, but I could only imagine like how that would feel, and that would probably hit me pretty hard, and I would get emotional, and you know, it'd be like a whole thing. But that would definitely be the point where I would say to myself, I made it. And it could be 10 people, it can be 10,000 people, but it's people that know my song that I wrote.
Well, being that both of y'all are artists, how do y'all feel about not writing, the people who aren't writing their own music?
There's nothing really wrong with that, because everybody gets assistance somewhere. You know, I run into writer's block all the time. So if I'm in the studio and say a Lil Wayne hits me up and say, "Hey, I need a verse in an hour," and I'm gonna be like, "God damn!" And I'm getting writer's block. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, so can you help me out with this line real quick? What wrong with that? What it sound good?"
Yeah.
So it's like I have no problem with people that you know, because I ghostwrite myself. So you know, for me to criticize, you know, somebody else for wanting a ghostwriter, I'm like criticizing my customers, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah. I can't be against something that I'm supporting myself.
And what about you?
Yeah, definitely the same. Like, I am a big fan of writing my own music, whether it be from something that happened, like a true event, or just something that was just a fun idea that I thought would make a cool song, something radio ready, whatever. I think like people who have writers, that doesn't discount their talent that they have vocally. You can have someone write down words that may mean something or they may mean nothing at all, but the performance is a big part of the music. And as long as you can deliver that well, I think that makes you an artist.
Okay. So speaking of these artists, I want to ask y'all this. How important is being authentic in as an artist and in your music? Because, you know, we have a lot of rappers that portray one thing, but in real life it's another. So how important do you think authenticity is in being an artist?
I think it's really important. I think that being your true self is the most honest representation, and at the end of the day, everyone else is taken. So being your true self and showing people your true self, that is really important to not only just creating your own identity or your own image, but it makes it a lot easier too, because you don't feel like you have to put on a show for people. You don't feel like you have to put on a costume or act differently than you would act at home. I really value that authenticity. So just being able to kind of carry that into the industry, I think is really important.
When it comes to that, I'm very loose with the whole thing of a person sticking to their lifestyle and speaking on it. And the reason why is because even, J. Cole is probably the most successful guys out there, but he still makes music for people that are struggling out there. He still comes back and represent the guy like me who's trying to make it in the game. He speaks about the struggle. He speaks about people going through depression, just different emotions. And you sometimes, if that's your core fans right there, that you started with, then you always want to, reach back to them and give them something inspiring, to listen to. You don't want to just, now I'm rich, I ain't going to talk about that no more. You always want to reach down and lift people out of a dark place sometimes.
It's good. It keeps you grounded too, I think. Just, referring back to where you started or what you sang about to get to where you are, I think is really important, just to kind of keep someone humble. Because no one likes an asshole.
For real. I definitely want to shout out all the people watching, man. Diana, Deidre, Verso, Star. Man, shout out to y'all, man. I want to ask you this, though. If the industry came to y'all and wanted y'all to be a character, would y'all be okay with it?
No.
No?
Hard no. You take me as I am, or we can pack up and leave. Like, I'm not going to change who I am. It took me so long to figure out who I was and be confident in myself that I wouldn't feel comfortable going and changing my personality or changing my image to just fit a need, or to fit a mold. Because I think what makes me unique is just myself, my personality, the way I dress, the way I talk, my style of music that I write and sing. It makes me unique, and I don't want to change that. And again, with my name, like, my God-given name is Daria. And it took me so long to be confident in that name, just as it was, because as a kid, it always got mispronounced. And in my head, I didn't think it was that hard. It's 5 letters. But it always got mispronounced, and I was just like, I wish I could change my name. I went by my middle name for a little bit, but it just didn't feel right. And then as I kind of matured a little bit, I started to feel more comfortable in my name and acknowledging the beauty in it. Like, the word Daria means ocean. So just kind of, being satisfied or coming to love myself for the name that my parents gave me is something that I really want to, take with me with other things too in the industry.
You said you spent a lot of time finding yourself. Tell me about that process, and then also let the people, because there's young people out there who are also trying to find themselves. What are some ways that you can do that? So,
I would say being around people who care about you, like friends, family, people who know you for you and will acknowledge when you are successful or acknowledge the mistakes that you make along the way. They're not going to be, they're not going to say that you're perfect. So they're going to, say, hey, you did this wrong, or you messed this up, or you did this really well. People that are kind of keep you grounded in a sense. My family is that for me. My friends are that for me. And I think that really helps, figure out, or helps me figure out who I am. And also just not being afraid of what other people think is like the biggest thing. And it was one of those things where I really had to learn that, and I'm still learning that, because I would notice I will change the way I speak when I'm talking to certain people, or I will change the way I dress when I'm around certain people. So just, trying to find that authentic self that my family has kind of helped mold to is really important.
Who are you?
Who am I? I'm Daria. No, I am quirky. I am a little bit weird. I am super loyal. I am just quiet.
Are you introverted?
But I would say I'm an extroverted introvert.
What is that?
I mean, like when I'm most comfortable at my house, I'm very comfortable just kind of being a little bit secluded. But in the event where I am out somewhere or talking to someone, I can talk. You know, I can talk about anything and everything. I'm not gonna just give you one word answers.
Right.
So that's what I would say would be an extroverted introvert. But yeah, I would consider myself more introverted than extroverted, but I can definitely do both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to you writing your music, what is your favorite things? Some of your favorite things to write about?
Oof. Relationships are like, they're just the easiest thing because there's so many different emotions that come in them. Like, I really like breakup songs, so they're just really fun. And it's so weird in relationships. That's the one thing I think about. But whenever I want to write something a little bit more positive, I just kind of think about just something that I would want to hear. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be anything uplifting or anything that means anything specifically. It could just be a song that I would like to hear out at a club or out at a bar or just something. So I definitely kind of hone in more on personal experiences. But I'm trying to be better at just branching out a little bit, maybe making things up. I'm very creative and imaginative. So it's getting easier as I'm getting older, as I'm getting more life experience. But yeah, I don't know why. That's just like what I go back to.
So you said you like writing about relationships.
I do.
So I want to ask you this. What is it like dating Daria?
Let me call my boyfriend. No, I'm just kidding. It's like, it's definitely, you're going to get like quiet, but you're also going to get like batshit crazy, but in a good way. Not like a
good way.
Weird,
what do you mean a good way?
Like,
how
you're going to get
crazy
like,
good?
You're going to get like 1 minute I'll be normal on the couch watching TV, and the next minute I'm going to be dancing around in socks and a large t-shirt and just like making weird noises. No, I'm just keeping him on his toes, really.
So it's not necessarily crazy. It's just kind of with the weirdness, you know?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Let's go with that.
I could definitely understand that. What are some memorable relationship moments with you?
Oh God. With my boyfriend, our first date is completely memorable because we didn't plan this at all. We met at like a hole-in-the-wall Chinese food restaurant, and we ended up wearing the exact same thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I wore a red flannel and jeans, and he wore a red flannel and jeans. So that's like one thing that'll always stick into my brain. Another thing is whenever he asked me to be his girlfriend for the first time. That was like a month after our first date. That's definitely something that I think about because it wasn't romantic. It was just like on the phone, just casually, which I kind of liked because I don't like grand gestures. I think they're cheesy. And it was how I felt most comfortable just talking, and it just
when y'all showed up in the same outfit, did you think to yourself, oh yeah, he's the one?
Yeah, I did. That happened. I remember exactly where we sat in that Chinese food restaurant, and 5 years later, here we are.
When it comes to dating life for you, would you say it's more emotion led or logic led?
I would say it's more logic led, just because I am an overthinker, and I will think about every outcome of everything, and that is why I have so many gray hairs. So it's definitely more logic led, and I try not to be super upfront about like emotions, which is definitely not healthy, and it's something that I'm working on, just being more open.
Woman, though.
Yeah, I know. That's sexist. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not.
I
really
realize
like,
I did.
I'm not like super emotional, like as a person. Any type of emotions, I'll hold them in, which again is something that I'm working on. And writing them out in music has helped a lot. That's that's why I write mostly about relationships, because it's my coping of just everything that works and sometimes the things that don't work that I just don't know how to release that anger or frustration other than just writing it down on paper. And sometimes it's just writing down what happened, and then I will find the melody later when I come back to it.
I want to ask you this. When it comes to balance, work life, dealing with the kids, how do you because I was talking with my friend today, and we were talking about when having a manager, you have to be on it. Like, don't call me saying this, and that. You need to be automatically doing, oh, this is showcase. Did you sign me up for the showcase? You know what I'm saying? Why are you calling me about this showcase? You haven't even signed me up for it yet. So you have to do a lot. How do you balance it?
That is a very good question, because I don't even know how I manage. Because it's very tough when you're a family man, when you're trying to deal with kids. You're trying to build your business, and you're trying to continuously put food on the table. And then you have to take time out for yourself as well. So it's all about self-management.
Do you have time for yourself, though, really? I know she expects you to always be working for her. What? You're watching TV, the Super Bowl? What are you talking about? Take time for the Super Bowl.
Well, do I have time for myself? A lot of times, no. A lot of times I don't, and that kind of affects my, making sure I'm stable in the head where I can actually effectively work my business, because you don't want to do anything within your business while you're in a negative space, because you're going to get negative results every time. So, taking care of yourself is very important. I do try to find ways to do that. For the past 2 years, I have gotten into meditation, saying affirmations, stuff like that. I was saying affirmations before I even knew what affirmations was. Like, I used to be at a 9 to 5 years ago, and I would tell myself, like, man, my surroundings right now, I'm way better than this. I'm bigger than this. Like, I'm a millionaire, and I already know it. Like, why is these people staying here for 10 years? So that was my mindset. And then it was like, when I really like sat down and got into affirmations and stuff, it was like, oh, I was already doing this ahead of time. Like, and I'm seeing everything actually manifest before my eyes. Everything I was saying is like actually happening. So I'm like, man, I can only say thank you to the universe.
I heard that. How did you know that this industry thing was for you? You know what I mean? Like, tell me that story. I mean, like you said, you may have been at the 9 to 5, and then all of a sudden it just clicked to you. So tell me that story on how you figured out, this is where my passion lies. This is what I want to do.
Man, I'm gonna start all the way back. The first person to make me even want to write a bar was Jay-Z.
Okay.
Like, I used to listen to his music, and I would recite it. I would write it down because I couldn't remember. I would write it down so I can recite the music and stuff back. And then one day I just decided, man, I'm gonna write my own bar. Let me write my own bar real quick. And it was so dope. It had curse words in it.
Can you remember your first bar?
I
done came down.
A year ago, I was actually rapping it, and right now I can't remember it. But I started writing my first bar, and it had to do with flashy stuff. It was like Cash Money, young, a young dude, getting his money and stuff, even though I was broke. You know how we do, but I was writing my bars, and then I went to the family, and I was like, I think I'm real good with this. I want to pursue it. Everybody was looking at me like, yeah, whatever. You know how it is. But in 2003, I was rapping with my brother and cousin. They had their own studio set up and everything, and my brother, he was very good at making beats and stuff like that. And I was more the lyricist type dude in the group. So it was like, just seeing the fact that I can actually put together a song. Like, it don't have to just be rapping. It can be like a full song, a verse, bridge. It was like, wow, I'm actually doing this. That's when I was like, yo, this is what I'm going to stick with. It ain't going to be football like I thought.
Yeah. What about you? When did you fall in love with R&B?
Probably, I'm gonna be honest, R&B came when I was about like maybe 21-ish, so it came a lot later. But I've been writing since I was maybe like 11-ish, and my first song was terrible, of course.
What was it?
God, well, I forgot the hook, but it was just really bad. It was something a cheesy 10-year-old would write that watched the Disney Channel way too much. And then that's kind of, I started with like more pop mainstream genre. Okay. And then somewhere around like 13, I started getting into like real like alternative kind of edgy music, and I thought I was super cool because I got like my double ears pierced when I was 14. I was like, I am the coolest person in this high school, and no one can tell me otherwise. And I would wear like ripped jeans, and I just thought I was super like right. And then that faded. And then like at 19, I started doing music again, and they wanted to put me back in like the pop box. And I remember they would send me tracks, the company I was working with before, and they were just like really young. And I was like, this is not where I'm at right now in my life. I don't want to sing about like bubblegum pop music that a child would listen to. That's not who I am. I'm almost 20 in college. I don't want to sing that. So that's kind of when I started doing more R&B. I started listening to a lot more R&B. And then recently I just continued writing, and that's where I'm at right now.
So this is a question for both of y'all.
Yeah.
Deidre said, what is the hardest thing you have ever written about?
That's a good question.
The hardest thing
you go ahead.
I'll start. The hardest thing I have ever written about is actually on my album I put out a year and a half ago, Pennies for My Thoughts, because it was pure, uncut thoughts about people that I love that hurt me. And I had to put that out and release it knowing that when I do release this, it's probably going to be cutting ties with the people I love.
What are some of the things that you mentioned in the song?
Well, like I said, there's people I started doing music with that I kind of felt like I was pushed to the side when I shouldn't be, and it's, when you feel like you have a bond with somebody and somebody kind of like meets somebody new, and all of a sudden you have to take a back seat, that kind of, it stains your heart, and, sometimes you got to heal from that. And writing my music and stuff like that it was my way to heal, and then I just had to let it be known,
Did it cause you to cut ties with certain people? Did the song do that?
I think it caused them to cut ties. It was me just letting them know that, hey, you hurt my feelings. And however they were going to take it, I was just willing to deal with it. So it was more...
That couldn't have been easy, though.
It wasn't. When I decided, to put that out, it just wasn't easy to, push that button and say, yeah, this is what it's going to be. But
you did it.
I did it. It was needed. It was necessary.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, do you feel that it was a good decision?
Yes. I don't regret anything.
That's what I'm talking about. What was the hardest thing you ever written?
The hardest thing, and it's going to sound really silly, but I wrote a song about feeling your most beautiful self, but talking to myself.
Okay.
Because for the longest time, I didn't feel beautiful. When I was a kid, I went to a predominantly white school in a predominantly white neighborhood. And me being one of two black kids in the only school, like you start to feel like the other. You start to see little girls with blonde hair and blue eyes and think they're so pretty. Why don't I look like that? And just beauty standards growing up were super like skinny, just if you were black, you had to be very light skinned to even be considered beautiful. So that was something that I kind of had to look myself in the mirror and say, hey, you are beautiful for, excuse me, that's okay. You are beautiful for just who you are, your face, and just finding things about myself that I loved instead of pointing out the things that I hated and that I wanted to change. So that was something really hard for me to write. And it's one of the songs I do want to record because I think it's just a beautiful song, but it's just finding the track that will fit is going to be something that I want to work on. So, because I really think other people could get something from that song too. I know I'm not the only one who's had those feelings before. So that's definitely something that I want to work on next.
So, I mean, growing up in a predominantly white neighborhood, going to school with predominantly white kids, is this something you would put your child through? Or will you in the future when you have, I don't know if you have children now.
No, I don't want any.
Will you purposely move into the black neighborhood, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
would you put
get
your
what
child
you
through
mean.
that same thing? Would you do that?
Because it was so hard for me, a part of me wants to say no, but also a part of me wants to raise a child who doesn't see self-worth coming from other people and coming from the people that they see. I want them to have it within them, and that's just going to come from more of a nuclear family, or just, working on those affirmations and working on that self-love and not having to find it in other people. So that's something that I would change, and I think that would carry them through any school that they choose, whether that be like a school that's in the neighborhood that happens to be predominantly white or predominantly black, or growing up if they decide to go to an HBCU. I want them to feel like they belong there, not feel like they are too white or too just not black enough to go and fit into those predominantly black spaces.
Man, that's what I'm talking about. So I'm really curious to hear like your music, how you sound. Like, would you mind doing something for us?
Not at all. I'm trying to think of what I could sing. What should I do a bit of the new one? I don't know.
I wouldn't do that one.
Okay, not that one. Okay,
give us
okay.
something. Give us something.
Oh gosh, there's so many in the archives. It's time for me to reassess, maybe take a recess, try to forget everything that he said in my head. Maybe here we go again.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, that was the one that I wrote. It's on my YouTube. It's called Reset. Just check it out. Leave a comment. Definitely subscribe. There's going to be more coming soon. So, yeah, I'm really excited about it for sure.
So, you have a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
And it is different.
Yeah.
It is different.
And it's funny, whenever I started, I really wanted to sound like someone. And listening to a lot more R&B, I'm like, I really want to sound like SZA, or I want to sound like her, or I want to sound like just maybe Beyonce. I don't know. But wanting to sound like other people instead of just wanting to be myself and appreciate my voice for its unique sound. So that's definitely part of the self-love journey that I'm on, and becoming more confident in my own voice too, and not trying to sound like someone else, because, my voice is so unique, and I think it could be just appreciated for what it is.
As artists, do y'all believe that y'all shouldn't listen to other artists per se? So, my co-host, he's a rapper. He doesn't listen to other people. I guess I don't know if he has a fear of influence or what, but I really think that might have a lot to do with it. You know what I mean? So he wants to feel like he's authentic and original to himself. You know what I mean? How do y'all feel about that? Like I said, are y'all big on listening to other artists, or do y'all feel the same way?
I don't. I think you can learn a lot just by different styles and something that's trending. I'm not a big on the trend kind of person. I'm not a big social media person. So definitely kind of doing that research and knowing what people like to listen to, or what's popular, or just what people are writing about and what people are singing about could definitely help further your career. Now, it's not mandatory by any means. I could definitely understand wanting to stay as original and authentic by not listening to other artists in a similar genre, but I think there's a lot to learn from too.
What about you?
So I have heard people in the industry, they actually, when they're in recording mode, like say they got an album they're working on, they don't listen to anybody because it does kind of influence how you wanting yourself to sound.
Right.
So, but it, to just not listen to other people at all, you're going to come to a point where you're sort of out of tune with what's really going on, and you're probably going to be outdated, with your sound. If you don't really keep up with what people are listening to, you really won't know where your market is going to be at, because music is always evolving, it's always changing. You always got a new style, like drill music just came out. People are now heavy on that, so you got to stay in tune with what's going on.
What's your thoughts and feelings on the state of hip hop now? You spoke of drill music, and I think it's very toxic for society, for our people. You know what I mean? All this above. So, what is your thoughts on hip hop right now?
Yes, I do feel the same about drill music. I don't listen to it. What I like to listen to is inspiring music, motivational music, like music about getting money and stuff like that. You can always make music to bring somebody up, but when you're making music to just bring somebody down, or that just has nothing positive in it, I really can't get down with that. So as far as where music is, I think we can do a lot better. As far as hip hop,
what's looking at the YSL case? What's your thoughts on using lyrics against the rappers in court?
I think it definitely shouldn't be, because it's a form of art. It definitely shouldn't be used against rappers, but rappers do need to be careful with what they actually put on wax. It's just a thing of if you do a crime, the police are going to take whatever they're going to grab on, and if you say you did the crime in your music, they're going to grab onto that and they're going to use it against you. But I don't think it's totally fair, because it's their music. They could be writing about what somebody else did. And that's sort of what I do in my music. Not to get off the question, but a lot of times I write about other people's experiences and stuff like that. Amongst mixing in my experiences, and to give people a whole full emotional feeling of what I'm trying to get at on the track. So, it's very much not fair to take somebody's art and just turn it into something so negative.
Same question. What is your thoughts on hip hop and R&B today?
I really like where R&B is right now. I like how, and hip hop too, it's a lot of female empowerment right now, which I love. And it's something that motivates me to be more confident, and it's something that I would aspire to as well, to just write to make other people feel more confident. But as far as I don't know, it's really hard to criticize art because it is so expressive. And not only as a songwriter, I've an artist, so drawing and painting and things like that. So I'm familiar with just creating something that people may not like, or there's always you're gonna upset somebody no matter what you do. So just kind of staying true to who you are and not trying to satisfy people is something really important in art as a whole, whether your medium is music, drawing, painting, whatever it may be, as long as it's honest.
Deidre asks, is there anything that would stop you from signing an artist?
An artist not being mentally prepared to take on, the task of, what it's going to take to be an artist. Like you have to be on point with your own business. You have to, be on time. You have to, like, if there's a photo shoot, you got to be photo shoot ready. You got to be mentally prepared to take care of business. Even if you're a gangster in the street, you gotta have some form of business mentality about yourself. I'll be the manager, but you still gotta handle yourself. So if a person's mentality, if they don't have that go-getter, positive attitude about themselves, then there's nothing I can do with you.
I heard you on that. So is there anything else coming up for you guys that you guys want to speak on?
Yes,
yeah, my new single coming out March 3rd. We recorded it, was it last weekend or 2 weekends? I think it was 2 weekends ago, 2 Saturdays ago.
Yeah, 2 Saturdays.
So I'm really excited to officially release that, and be able to perform it officially is going to be really exciting. And that's pretty much on the forefront of my mind right now. And just continuing on writing and recording. I've been really eager to go back into the studio just to write or sing some older songs that I have, and just kind of, just keep working again. Because I've been out of the industry for a little bit, just kind of focusing on myself and figuring out what I wanted for me. And so this journey is relatively recent, starting back up again. So I'm really excited to kind of go all in.
Okay.
And we just wanted to throw out, again, we do have an event coming up on May 31st. It will be mostly virtual, but there will be limited seats for people to physically be at the event. So, everything is going to be available on Promotick. So I'll be posting up links and stuff like that for people to get their tickets. The virtual tickets, well, I'm not going to say the prices of them. You will see everything when it's posted. Right now we're working out all the details, but, there's going to be different levels of pricing. There's virtual, there's in studio, and then there's a higher level of tickets as well. That's going to come with, perks and stuff like that. So, we have that. Then after that, we're going to be doing a showcase as well. But I think that's it. That's all we have.
Okay. Well, real quick, I want to switch it up just a little bit. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's
okay.
great.
So I'm going to pose this to you.
Okay.
But I want you to speak on it as well. Because you may see what I see.
All right, cool.
So when it comes to letting go of your independence, so say you got a man, he you want to let him take the lead. So when it comes to letting go of independence and other things, why do you think women date with fear? You know what I'm saying? A lot of what I see is a lot of women date when they're dating. There's a lot of fear in it. You know what I'm saying? A fear of him doing this, fear of him doing that. Yeah, it's like a lot of fear in there. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to let go of their independence. You know what I'm saying? Because they're scared that he can't lead correctly. So why do women, why are they in so much fear when it comes to relationships?
I think a part of it could be just previous experiences.
Okay.
That was something that made me nervous about getting into another long-term relationship, is just because whenever you've been either cheated on or just something happened or really nothing would happen. They just decided that they wanted out, and that's fine. So you kind of start to see or view men a little bit differently. So you kind of start to look at them and look at their actions with a little bit more detail.
Okay.
So I think that is part of the reason why it's really hard for independent women to trust, because they've been hurt before, or they've heard stories of women being hurt before, because I've heard stories of men just deciding one day that they didn't want to be in that relationship with that person, just out of the blue. Nothing happened. They just had a change of heart.
No such thing.
Such thing. Or, you know, they find interest in someone else and step out on the relationship, or something happens that, you know, causes you to lose trust in people. And I think that's part of the reason why women want to be more independent, because men ain't shit.
Oh, she said it. She started, y'all. Well, no, what have you seen when it comes to women and like I was saying, the fear?
My perception of women in fear, I think it's some women are scared of, I'm going to say scared of the commitment fact when it comes to a man actually doing what he's supposed to do in the household. Okay. Like, I think a lot of women actually are expecting a man to mess up somewhere. And when he doesn't, it puts pressure on women to actually step up and become better women all around, like housewives, moms, supporters. It's a thing of when a man is actually building a business like I am, you expect your woman to handle the household. You know, he's going out, he's at his 9 to 5. He comes home, you know, the best thing to do for your man would be to make the rest of his day as comforting as possible after he comes from a 12-hour shift. You know, that's just what a man would want. And sometimes a woman, you know, she wants to rest too. She's probably been home with all the kids all day and stuff like that. But you have to find a balance there, you know, because a woman has to support the man. Because I'm gonna be building a business as well, you know. So it's me finding balance. I'm gonna be spending time with the kids. I'm gonna do whatever to keep my wife happy by buying her these things, but in return, I just need you to rub my back sometimes, you know, stuff like that. So it's just, you know, the thing of being a good supporting woman and making sure your man is comfortable.
No, what is your thoughts on what he said, especially with you know, at home and you know, what's your thoughts on that?
I am definitely a feminist. I don't believe in all of that bullshit. As far as the women should be at home raising the kids and be there for them, like being a stay-at-home mom isn't of itself a full-time job, and I think that support has to go both ways. But I think men, not saying all men, but a lot of men do feel entitled to that kind of support, but are never the ones to return that support for their woman. And it's sometimes where, say, if I've had a long day, I would really appreciate food to be already made instead of having to go into the kitchen and cook when my man's just on the TV or playing games or whatever. You know, so like I've heard this before. Relationships aren't 50-50. They're 100-100. So you really have to give your full self and be with someone who will give their full self to you as well in order for that relationship to be successful.
Okay. Feminists, what are your beliefs?
What are my beliefs as far as like feminism?
as far as feminism, as a woman in general?
I mean, I honestly, I don't think we need men. To be quite honest, I think men are just. I don't think we do. We've proven that we can be moms and have a full-time job and also do everything. I mean, I was raised by my mom, and my dad was in the picture, but my parents got divorced when I was really young, so my mom did a lot of the work, and I've seen it done. My whole family on my mom's side is all women, so I've definitely seen it done and know plenty of strong women who can do everything by themselves.
So you definitely don't believe in traditional roles?
I don't. No.
I want to ask you this. You and him are walking down the street.
Yeah.
Someone comes with a gun. Do you not expect him to step up?
What's he gonna do? He don't got a gun.
In general, do you expect protection from your male?
Do I expect protection?
Do you expect from the male? Any male, you know, in general, you know what I'm saying? Friend, lover, whatever. Do you expect protection from him?
I don't expect anything from anybody. I was raised that you can, if you want something, you get it yourself. If you need to be protected, or if you have something or feel like you're in danger, you have things that will help you in those dangerous situations, and not having to rely on anyone, especially a man, to help you out of those situations. Because, you know, like I said, feminist all the way. So deal with it.
Okay.
And I'm actually for mostly everything she says. It is very possible for a woman to do everything. It's just, from my perception, the women I've dealt with, it hasn't been done.
So I'm gonna ask you this: what's your thoughts on the independent woman?
My thoughts on the independent woman.
Is it a help? Is it a help to you as a man, or does it hurt you as a man?
Oh, it definitely doesn't hurt me.
It
helps.
It
helps. I would love to have an independent woman who can make her own money, because it'll save my money. You know, I ain't got to go out there and spend $300 on a meal for us to eat. So it definitely does something positive for the relationship when everybody is chipping in some way. My thing was just, if you have a female that doesn't want to work, which I've had plenty of those in my life.
Now what is that? Isn't that independence though? She's not working with you because she's her own person.
The thing is, if you're going to be in a relationship, you have to bring something to the table. If you're not bringing money to the table, you have to bring something. I'm not saying, you know, you got to bring sex, whatever. You have to do something to make the man feel like you're necessary to have around.
Okay. Now I think you walking on like a double-edged sword with that. You can't sit there and say, yes, I want you to be independent, please, but then you want her to make you feel like a man.
Yeah, if she is independent, that means she wants
the man. She wants
to
be independent. She's the man.
She wants.
That means, am I right? Like,
that means
she just said we don't even need men. Yeah. Like, I'm the man. I'm the man and the woman. What you want to do?
To me, an independent woman at least has a job. At least has a job and can sustain her own bills. That's an independent woman right there.
Okay.
You know, if I'm married to her and she doesn't want to get a job, and then, you know, she just has to do something else. She doesn't have to be a whole independent woman for me to love her and marry her, but she does still have to bring something to the table. She has to just make sure my food is cooked at the end of the day. I'm not saying, you know, I won't take her out to dinner. I'll do all the romantic stuff. I'll do my part as far as that. But she has to do something for me in return. It has to be 50-50. It cannot be, I'm going to work, I'm coming home to cook my own dinner, and then I'm serving you as well. Like, what did you do all day?
I gotta get your opinion on this.
I got a lot going
Yes,
on.
tell me.
So, like, you're saying that a relationship between a man and a woman is transactional? As in, like, I'm giving you this, so you have to give me this. Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying that two partners in a relationship, man and woman, should work together to achieve the same goal?
There you go.
Okay. So do you not believe that a woman should be a man's helpmate?
To be a what? I'm sorry.
Man's helpmate.
Helpmate? What do you mean by that?
Helpmate.
Oh, helpmate. Mm-hmm. What do you mean by that? Could you be a little specific?
To be there to make his life easier.
Who's there to make my life easier?
Well, he's supposed to be that. He's supposed to be that for sure.
Okay.
Like, that's why he's a leader.
That's why I'm working.
Well, I mean, like, to be like, we call it helpmate.
Mm-hmm. Helpmate.
I think you can help each other, but I think if there is something that needs to be done, whatever it is, whether it be a household chore, whether it be paying a bill, whether that be cooking dinner or whatever, I think it doesn't matter if it is the man or the woman. I just think if something needs to be done and a partner in the relationship is available to do that thing, then they should be the one to step up and do that thing.
Can you really respect a man who isn't because listening to what you just said, like, to you sounds like it says it doesn't matter who's making the more money in this scenario. Yeah. But can you really respect that man who isn't doing what you do?
Of course.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Okay.
Really, for real.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that a relationship is purely the man goes to work and makes the money while the woman stays home and feeds the kids and makes dinner. I don't believe in that kind of relationship dynamic. I honestly think, for example, if I were to be the person that made the amount of money or made more money, I don't think that there, I don't think that there would be like a change, really, or there, like, not a change. Let me rephrase. I don't think it would be different, or I don't think it should be different.
So you're okay with being in your masculine?
Yeah.
Really? Why do I feel like it's because of control?
What do you mean by control?
You being in your masculine would definitely automatically put you in a controlling sense in the mindset. You know what I mean?
I mean, like, when you say masculine, are you referring to like man over woman kind of thing?
No, because there's a balance of masculine and feminine.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a balance of masculine and feminine in both of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when you have to be too much in your masculine, and you said you're okay with that, I feel like when some women say that, it's because they want control.
No, I think the men who feel threatened by that are not confident men.
Are not
That's what it is. If you feel threatened, then you're not a confident man.
If I feel threatened by your masculinity, it makes me not a confident man.
Exactly. And I can't fuck with you if you're not confident. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
So how does he show us? How does he show his confidence?
How does he show his confidence? By just being my teammate. And I think if you are able to work together to achieve that goal, it doesn't matter if I'm making more money, if he's making more money. I think if it's one goal that we're both achieving, it's gonna come, right? Like, it's something. If something has to be done, and I can't do it, he's the only other person that I would expect to do it, and vice versa. If he needs something done, and I'm available to do it, I'm ready to do it for him. Doesn't matter who makes the most money. Doesn't matter who is working 9 to 5 or working 12 hours. Doesn't matter. I just think if there is a void that needs to be filled or a gap somewhere that needs to be done in order to work toward the same goal, I think that's really important.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree.
Why do you feel threatened right now?
I don't feel threatened.
Okay.
I don't feel threatened.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I still think it has a lot to do with control.
Okay.
I really do. I'm gonna ask you this.
Yeah.
In the marriage, how much effort do you want to have to put forth in the marriage?
How much effort? As much as
I mean, I'm talking about, like I said, working, cleaning, cooking, taking care of the kids. How much effort do you want to put forward?
As much as there needs to be. So again, if something needs to be done and I'm able to do it, then I will be the person to do it. And vice versa. If something needs to be done and he is able to do it, I expect him to do it if I can't do it. I'm not going to go to work all day and come home and make dinner and do laundry and everything when he comes home and just gets to sit on the couch. That's not fair. And a lot of people feel threatened by feminists because they think that it means like women over men, when really it doesn't. It means that there is equality in the sexes. And I think that having that kind of like, filling in the gaps when needed is equivalent to just that equality.
So you think women and men are equal?
I do.
Okay. In all aspects.
I do.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm gonna rock with it. I'm gonna rock with it. I don't agree. I don't think that.
Why not? Let me ask you this. Why not?
Well, I mean, for one, men are protectors.
Okay.
Men are stronger.
Okay.
Men. This world was built by them. Okay. So I don't like I said, there's things that I'm put it like this. There's things that we're better at and there's things that you guys are better at. And I think we should play on our strengths. I think when we cross into each other's lanes, that's where the disconnect happens.
Okay.
So that's my philosophy. That's my input on it.
So
I do not think we're the same though. We're definitely different.
So you're saying that men are stronger and faster than women and etc.
Well, yeah. Well, that's facts. Wouldn't you say?
I wouldn't.
What?
I wouldn't say that. I would say it really depends on each person specifically. I don't think.
Oh no, I'm talking about
like a generalization kind of thing.
In general, yes, generalization across the board.
Biologically, they're not. I don't think they are.
Biologically,
I don't think so.
What?
I don't think.
Where's that coming from?
I don't think so. Like I like being able to like feel confident in my femininity, but also I understand that we have to be looked at as equals. Otherwise, women are going to be looked at as lesser. When in reality, I don't think that's the case.
So when I say equal, do you mean like worth? Do you equate that as worth when I say that? Like
for physicality?
Well, I don't know. I just when you just said that right now, I feel like you took when I said, "Are we equal?" as like worth. You know what I'm saying? And that's not per se the route I was trying to. It wasn't about worth. Who's worth more? You know what I'm saying? It was really more on a physical and outskirts of it. You know what I mean? That's really what I mean. I didn't mean worth. Okay. Because that could come off wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you're saying we're not worth anything? Yeah. Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. Yeah. But like I said, when it comes to, like I said, the strength, of course, we are stronger. So it's like, in that sense, we're not equal. You know what I mean? We're not.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I feel like you have a lot to say about that. I really want to hear what you have to say,
I do. I have a lot, but I don't know if we have enough time to really get into it.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I love it. I love it. I mean, you kind of almost stumped me when you sit there and said, like, does that make you feel less than having a masculine woman per se? Was that what you were saying?
Yeah.
And I just feel like that's gonna make y'all butt heads. It's not that it's less than, but in order for you to, let's see, get the respect. What is that? What do you have to do to get that respect per se? Like the lengths you have to go through to get her to understand and respect is like that's a dangerous area to me.
I think respect can be mutual. I think if you respect me and my time and just respect me as a person, I can respect you as a person. Doesn't matter what you do or what you bring to the relationship or bring to the table or whatever nonsense. I think respect is a lot deeper than surface value. And I really think that, like, we keep going back to this, like, like this transactional aspect of a relationship, how men bring this, so women should do this, and etc.
But is it not transactional?
I don't think
Is it not about what we do for one another?
I think it's more of what we do together for our relationship.
Okay.
I don't think it's what he does for me and what I do for him, because when you start to think about it that way, it can become a power balance real quick. If you start to do more, it's gonna be like, it's not gonna be what you want it to be. But I think remembering what the common goal would be, and it's really important to find a partner who you share common goals with, to really help that relationship succeed. Because if you are on two different fields, right? If he's more, I want a traditional woman, and she's more independent, that's just not going to work.
So you don't believe in a leader in a relationship? You don't believe a man should lead then?
No. Why? Give me one good reason why.
That the man should lead?
Yeah.
That's what he's built for.
Says who?
Since the beginning of time.
No, so I don't think so.
You rather have a man that doesn't lead?
I'd rather us both lead together. I don't think one.
I heard a quote the other day. Check this out. I heard a quote the other day saying,
a man being feminine or being in his feminine majority of the time automatically causes a woman to be masculine. And do you believe that?
Like feminine as in what aspect? It's just like more sensitive? Is that what you're getting at?
No. Just, let's see. I'm trying to think what the exact words that were used.
Okay.
But he the man was saying that, other words, the more of a bitch you are, the more of a man she has to be.
I don't like the wording in that at all. I really don't. But like,
yeah.
I mean, if he's not holding his weight, that's gonna cause you don't have to pick up the slack. You know what I mean?
I mean, kind of. I understand where you're coming from.
Which is not fair to you.
Why?
You said why?
Yeah.
I mean, because why should you have to do more?
If there's something that needs to be done, why can't I do more?
So no,
I'm
fully so you don't have no expectations.
Not really. As long as I share the same moral values with someone and I love them and they respect me and I respect them, I don't think any, like, if they're more feminine or more masculine, or if I'm more masculine or more feminine, I don't think that really has anything to do with anything, as long as there is a balance there, you know? So it I don't really see any type of like
okay,
power.
balance. You say as long as there's a balance.
But what you're saying is like the balance comes from like the man being more masculine and the female being more feminine.
Yeah, I mean, I just.
that doesn't.
What is femininity to you?
What is femininity to me?
Like
just one, being in touch with who you are and not being afraid to be sensitive. And I think that is something that a lot of men could probably take from, because it's not a bad thing to show emotion. And I think it's a weird man thing where they're like afraid to just like show that they're hurt, and that's.
I mean, well, look at Tyrese when he was on there crying and they bashed him. Women,
Terrible.
to be honest with you, the reason that is because women bash you. Women do this. You know what I'm saying? Men do it too. But for the most part, for it to affect us, it would have to be a majority of women doing this to us to make us feel this way, or, you know what I'm saying, not be emotional. You know what I mean? Because like I said, when you are, she may lose some type of respect for you. I'm just saying in general, just women do that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
In general, yeah. But I'm not one of those women who do that. So I can't speak for everyone, but I know exactly where my moral grounds are, and I know who I love, and I know what I love him for. And I think that our relationship is incredibly strong, and it doesn't necessarily have to be because he's the man or because he makes more money or because I make more money. I don't think that has anything to do with the strength of our relationship. When we started dating, we were both...
Well, anyone who's making... I'm going to tell you this. Yeah. Anyone who's making more money 9 times out of 10 is working the hardest.
Why do you say that?
What?
Yeah.
How
right?
so?
Bullshit. No way.
What?
No way.
Think about... come on. So think, okay, so what job you can be making the more money that is just easy?
OnlyFans.
What?
OnlyFans.
Shit.
Done.
I don't know that. I mean, I don't know. Is that easy? Those women might think it's hard.
I mean,
well,
I have to agree with.
I mean, she was OnlyFans. I'm like,
you always.
But that's a woman. But think about this: men do not dominate in that world at all whatsoever. But oh my gosh, it's crazy that you say that, but it's so easy. That's easy. That's easy. That is easy money. Wow.
Yeah, there is a lot of easy money out there.
When you think of like jobs and 9 to 5 or whatever, you always got the entry level guys that's working harder than the bosses. Mm-hmm. You sit there and watch the bosses; they just sit on their asses. Mm-hmm. You're like, can you come over here and help?
Yeah, but that boss, to get to that level, he busted his ass too.
But he ain't busting it no more. And now he's making more money.
But that's what happens when you put in that time and that work.
Yeah.
To get to that position, you know what I mean? I really don't. Other than OnlyFans, that was a good one. I was like, oh shit, I didn't see that one coming. But other than OnlyFans, anything where you're making a whole bunch of money, it comes with a lot of hard work. I can't think of too many jobs where you can just lay back and make a whole bunch of money. Mm-hmm. I mean, even in the job that you can come up with, I'm pretty sure that they had to bust their ass through school to even get that. You know what I'm saying, to that point of being laid back. I don't know. So I guess that's what gets me when you say, it doesn't matter who's making the most money. Mm-hmm. To me, it's like, yes, it does. That means whoever's making the most money is the one who's working the hardest.
Okay.
OnlyFans. Oh my gosh, that was wow. That was good. Okay, y'all, we have to wrap this up. But again, I want y'all to recap on some things that's going on. Remind the people, you said something's going on May 31st, correct?
May 31st. There's a virtual show. We're going to be putting it on our Instagrams. Official Empire World Records is my IG, and Limis World, LIMIS World, is my artist IG. So we're going to be putting all the links and stuff for you to go ahead and purchase your tickets real soon. So just click the bios and stuff. Daria.
Yeah. So on IG, I am Daria. It's DARI _UH. I was tired of people mispronouncing my name. So you can find me on there. My YouTube channel is Daria Avant Music. You can find me on there. Please subscribe. New music coming very, very soon. Again, March 3rd. I'm really excited about it. It's probably one of my favorite songs that I've written in a long time. So definitely really excited to release that. And yeah, that is about it.
I'm definitely bringing you back because this, we got to get it. We're having the battle of the sexes.
Okay.
I'm bringing you back.
Okay.
You're good. Okay. You're good. And I would love to see, I would love to get that back and forth. Like, really, man, yes, I gotta have you back. Like, that was good. She even with the OnlyFans, I was like, damn, shit.
It's a new world we're living in.
It is.
It's you can make money doing literally anything at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yes, oh my goodness, yo, this is Radioactive. I'm your host, Ace Boogie. Peace.